Hello again everybody, back with another video. This time doing something I've been meaning to do, which was to finish off the Streatham stabbing hex or event. So this is where we'll see later the alleged attacker was shot dead, and quite next to this little structure here and the Tate Library here. So you probably have a guess at the architecture there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's get on anyway. So I'm calling this the Streatham stabbing hex, and it's a 33-day event, and this is take 2. So we'll use a little bit of the earlier footage from the very first video I did, but I've tried to fill in all the gaps and find a lot more information in this one. So let's take this one to town. So here we go. Now the Streatham stabbing is SS. SS in Chaldean is 3 and 3 for 33, and the place Streatham is 33 in Pythagorean numerology, and this happened on the 2nd of February 2020. So this is all the 2s for 2222. And we'll see plenty of 2 code. We had 2 stabbed and 1 attacker dead. 2 and 1 for 21 for 3 7s for 777. Okay, so here's Streatham High Road, and here's the boots we saw right at the beginning. White Lion, Argos, and then right opposite where the guy was shot, we've got Snappy Snaps. Seem to have quite a few SS's, but of course that's 33 in Chaldean numerology. And this road, Streatham High Road, is the A23, 1 and 2 for a 3, and a 3 for 33. And right opposite where the guy was shot, outside Boots, or allegedly shot, we have Pinfold Road. And Pinfold is 36 in Chaldean numerology for 6, 3 6s for 666. And Pinfold is 76, a 7 and a 6. In English, in reverse English, it's 113. This is where Z is 1 and A is 26. So another 33. So plenty of 33 code on show there, and we will revisit this place many times where this guy was allegedly shot. Okay, so this event happened on day 33 of the year, and because it's a leap year, there are 366 days this year. So it actually happened 333 days from the end of the year. So day 33 with 333 remaining. Very, very, very significant for this hex. And if we looked at the London Bridge attack, that actually happened on the 333rd day of the year, on the 29th of the 11th, 2019. So a link between the Streatham stabbings and the London Bridge attack. Now, there's actually between the London Bridge attack and the Streatham stabbings 66 days, as you can see here. So a very significant number too. And I think if you look down here, the time is 9 weeks and 3 days. Reverse that for a 6, and we've got a 666 here. Now, if you notice this, we've got the bus lined up. We've got a tape across here and a police car reinforcing this boundary, and this bus here. And if we look at this, which bus is it that's on show? On the 33rd day with 333 days remaining, of course. Just pure coincidence. It's bus 333. Now this police car was very, very prominently parked with this number plate on a display to everyone. And this number plate is not only 33 in Pythagorean numerology, it's also 33 in Chaldean numerology. So a double 33 on that one. Now, a pure coincidence, of course. So there's one pure coincidence, but here's another pure coincidence. We've got this one here, this car, perfectly on show. This one's obliterated by this lady here. And it's DX. Sorry, it's not. It's BX17DPF. And what's that in Pythagorean numerology? You guessed it. It's 33 for masonry. And if that was a coincidence and the previous one was a coincidence, then there's another coincidence, because they've got this one here, BX17DZN. Put that into a calculator, and in Pythagorean numerology, it's 33 for masonry. And of course, we've got our coronavirus imagery built into this with a guy in his mask too. Maybe predictive programming. Who knows? So this is the same car that we saw earlier. And this bus here, we'll have to have a look at that. You can probably already see something just above the bonnet of this BMW. But we'll have a look at that later. Keeping you in suspense, you see. Now, one of the two people stabbed in the Streatham attack has been named as 51-year-old Monica Luftner. Now, Luftner, if we look down here on the bottom left, in Pythagorean numerology, it's 33. And also in Chaldean numerology, it's 33. So it's like that first number plate I showed you, a double reinforced 33. And this Miss Luftner was a teacher at St. Bede's Catholic Infant and Nursery School. And St. Bede's in Chaldean numerology is 33. What a coincidence. And for the person that would not accept that all those 33s in both 33 videos that I've made on the fake coronavirus doesn't think they're linked, well, this guy is just a troll. So he's just trying to defend the blatantly indefensible. So you know who you are anyway. So here's the site again. This time this taken from a news report. And I do keep slipping with my words for some reason. I struggle to say that NEWS word. It keeps coming out as lies. I don't know why. It just seems to. I need to stop it. But right along here, the man of the first man, not the lady that I've just mentioned, the Luftner lady, he was stabbed at Cash Converters. And thanks to a comment from one of the people watching the videos for this one. So Cash Converters is CC, of course, for 33. And I know this says north here, but it's quite strange. I see a 14 and a 7 for 777. Quite possibly that's exactly what it's meant to be, but who knows? I've only just seen that one. Right, so this attacker was called Sudesh Aman, and he was jailed at the Old Bailey the following month after whatever it said before for 3 years and 4 months. This is for terrorism charges. And he was released early automatically. And he went straight out, well, in 2 or 3 days, and went on his rampage with his knife. Now, the London Bridge attacker had a knife, and he'd been released early on a terrorism charge, just like this guy. So clearly they're going to, I think they already have, changed the laws about when people can be released. They can hold people for longer. There's got to be some reason for this hex, but this guy was released early, automatically, from HMP, Her Majesty's Prison, Belmarsh. And this is, we'll see later, where his mother says he was radicalised in Belmarsh. Well, he was radicalised in 33 code, because Belmarsh is 33 for masonry. So, could be real, or he could just be a Freemasonic puppet. And so Pythagorean numerology, 33. And of course, he was killed, so he can't be kept alive and questioned or anything like that. So the story ends, basically, and there's not much on the story, it just kind of died away, and the virus took over as the main news again. Now, this is the police announcement about the incident, the first one that went out. So let's take a look at what the lady's got to say.
2 people were stabbed in Streatham High Road, Lambeth. Armed officers who were part of a proactive counter-terrorism surveillance operation and were following the suspect on foot were in immediate attendance and shot a male suspect dead at the scene. The suspect had been recently released from prison, where he had been serving a sentence for Islamist-related terrorism offences. The officers saw that a device was strapped to his body and called in specialist explosive officers and armed officers to deal with the potential threat that posed. Cordons were put in place, and it was quickly established that this was a hoax device.
Now, this guy that was shot dead after he attacked people in South London, as we say, had been recently released from prison after serving time for terror offences. And just like the London Bridge attacker, he had a hoax device strapped to his body. So he had gone to the trouble to create a hoax device to put round his body when he was going out to do a real terror attack. Just like the guy at London Bridge. Now, why on earth would you bother to restrict your movements by sticking some silly vest on that wasn't going to do anybody any harm when you were going out to do harm? Why would you do it? It's absolute nonsense. Okay, so gunshots were heard on Streatham High Road just after 1400 GMT on Sunday. So we have 2 p.m. on the second day of the second month of 2020. So we actually have, I said 4 before, we've actually now got 5 2s. And don't they love the multiples of numbers? And here we've got a 14, of course, for 2 7s for 7 7. Now, we've got quite a few 22s around because of the date, but this is a very, very high definition image that's around of this car, somewhere near the shooting, I think, but I'm not quite sure. And its registration plate is WJ06BBX. And that works out to 22 in Pythagorean and 22 in Chaldean. So we have plenty of 22 code there. And WJ is actually 33. So W being 23, J being 10 for 33. And WJ6BBX, don't count the 0, is 67 in English. 6s and 7s, and of course 33 off 100. So code, and more code, and who knows what these guys are supposedly doing. But of course, they've got their coronavirus masks on, haven't they? So here's another one. Could you pose any different to that? On one leg, Freemasonic symbolism. Right above them is 57. Of course, we have Heinz 57 for 57 varieties and 5 7s. We'll see this code again. So, Streatham High Road attack. Streatham High Road happens to be 57 in Chaldean numerology, would you believe? So, Streatham terror stabbing witness recalls being warned about bomb in a bag. Well, I think he got a vest on, hadn't he? Not a bomb in a bag, so I don't know what that's about. But this witness name was Carker to hear. Harder to hear? It sounds a little bit like that, doesn't it? And this particular name, when you plug it into Pythagorean calculator, is 57 again. I have to laugh when you see this. Why you can trust Sky News. You've just got to laugh, haven't you? You just got to laugh at that. Okay, so this is the witness and the shot. So let's take a look at this lady. She says at the end, I think she's still shaking and she's terrified. And she does let slip the odd little code. So let's take a look at her.
I heard that there was a shooting, that somebody was stabbing people and they have to shoot him.
And what else?
Nothing more.
How many shots did you hear?
Okay, three shots.
And what happened then? What did you do?
I just ran. Just ran for my life.
How frightening was that?
It was bad. And I'm still shaking.
So there you go. They wheeled out a very, very convincing witness. So I should just stop the video now because it's obviously real after what she's just said and the way she was behaving. But I've taken the trouble to make all these slides, so I think we're better finished, don't you? So this is where the guy was shot, allegedly shot. And take a look at this entranceway here. That architecture looks very Freemasonic to me. And we've got 3 8s up here as well for 1888. And it's just another view of the building. As we showed on the very, very first slide before I made the opening, we'd got this structure here where the guy was allegedly shot. And then we've got the Tate, as in the Tate Museum Hearst guy. We've got the Tate Library. And I think there's a number of these, maybe I can't remember whether 6 of these around London, but take a look at this architecture here. And here it is again, and its address is 63 Streatham High Road. 63 for 666, 3 6s. But take a look at this. And this is the Tate Gallery. Look at the structure. Very, very Freemasonic. So probably no coincidences happened there. And also, right where it happened, we have an owl being Moloch, the owl god. Here we go. And the goat god beneath them. So a Freemasonic bin next to a hex event. Coincidence? Who knows? So here we go. Just a big shout out to John Lethbridge, who comments quite a lot on videos my brother posts on Facebook, and he sent this one. Not quite sure who it is, whether it's police or it's was the alleged attacker, but look at he's doing the M for masonry sign here, and there's another character here, our basically actor clown president of the US, and he quite often does, with his very feminine looking hands, does a M sign, but let's not get too much into his sexuality. So this is the bus, the 57 bus, and these two guys are set up, purple gloves for royalty and richness, They've got this contraption set up here and a big one eye symbol about watching your speed on the back of the bus. And with this, just take a look at this here, guys. They actually should have moved this so it was here to really seal it, but plenty of symbolism there. And this is just reinforcing that we've got the purple gloves. And this guy's not got his coronavirus mask on very well because it should be over his nose. But purple for Freemasonic royalty and richness colour. So we've had purple. How about a bit of black and white for duality? So apart from one guy who shouldn't really be there, should be on the road, but he's obviously not read his instructions properly because it should be white on the road, black on the pavement. But I think they've got it right here. Look, we've got white on the road and black over shoes on the pavement. In your face, black and white duality. And also, what on earth are they trying to find? What are they trying to find? They've got the guy, they've shot him. So what are they looking for? And the two people are alive. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Not in the real world. But anyway, this is a good one. Witness Dave Chorner said he was heading to the cinema when he saw what he thought was a shoplifting taking place, with a man running down the street and bumping into someone before they fell to the ground and then got up again. He then heard shouting and what he thought was a car backfiring, followed by two minor explosions. So whether or not these were supposed to be the gunshots or what, but he saw a man on the other side of the road who was down on the ground and not lucid. So this must have been the gunshots, and this was the alleged attacker. Now, he had a blanket with him for his cinema visit. So, relatively young, healthy guy goes to the cinema and takes a blanket. So, was he going for a sleep? Was the cinema's heating broken? But this blanket, he helped place over the victim to compress it, to compress the victim's wound and stop it. And take a look at his blanket. Here it is, guys, with diamonds on it. Diamond for 33 in Pythagorean numerology for masonry. And if we plug Chorner into a different calculator, he's actually 72 for 2 sevens for 7 in English. In Pythagorean, it's 36 for 666. In reverse English, it's 117 for 11 sevens for 77. And in reverse full reduction, reverse Pythagorean, it's 36 again for 666. So 777, sorry, 77, 666, 77, 666. Just a coincidence. Now here's the bus video. Now I did play this in an earlier video, and the guy on it's filming from the bottom of the bus through the window, and this bus seems to conveniently slow down so the guy can film. At the time, I was kind of implying that the guy filming it could have been genuine. Now, I don't know what they do in these hosts, whether they put an outer perimeter and any of the cars and buses allowed in are controlled with control people on, or they do let ordinary buses through, because the difficult with controlling and shutting places down is people will notice. So who knows? But the guy is saying this isn't real, or it ain't real, as he says. Now he could just, the thing is, the mainstream media got his footage, so that does pour doubt. And one of the commenters said that I need to wake up on that. Most probably it was deliberate, but he still utters the truth, or what is more likely to be the truth in this hex when he says this ain't real. So let's take a look. But what I'd like you to look at is, as he's filming the windows, as he's going by, there's something in those windows that's got code in it, and this was pointed out, so thank you to you, to one of the commenters on the bus video that I released earlier.
Hold on. This ain't real. This ain't real.
Okay, so did you see it? Well, firstly, we have a guy in red shoes, and this was from a comment from Anaconda Malt Liquor. We tend to have red. It goes with our black and our white a lot of the time. And this Freemasonic puppet here has got his red shoes on. Of course, we have the very kind of Freemasonic Wizard of Oz with our Freemasonic star and our red slippers. And also, we have the Royal Arch Mason's colour is very, very red. And right next to this man with the red shoes and whatever these guys are doing here, we have this L'Osteria or L'Osteria coming soon. And take the L off and we go to Osteria. We've got 33 for Masonry and Pythagorean numerology. So plenty of code there, and I think on this lamppost as well, we've got our white and our black and our red, and we've got 08109. So we've got 9 and 9 for 18, for 3 6s for 666. Okay, so let's push on with a little bit more code. A female cyclist was stabbed at the White Lion pub. Now, White Lion in Chaldean numerology is 37 for 3 7s for 777. And lion is a significant symbol in Freemasonry. We have very important Lion of Judah, and we also have a special Masonic handshake called the grip of the Master Mason, which is the lion's paw, which is right here. So plenty of code in that. So here's which looks like a little bit of a stage photo, doesn't it? But can you notice the big 7 here? 250, 2 plus 5 for a 7. And this one I like more than ever. We've got these people doing God knows what, looking for God knows what. They've got the guy, they've got his fake bomb vest, they've got the victims, they're still alive. And with the only number that's sat there is a 16 for a 1 plus 6 for a 7. So thank you for that image. I kind of enjoyed that one. Now, this witness was allegedly in the shop when the guy stole the knife, and he didn't have a knife with him for the attack. So his plan was to go without a knife in a fake suicide vest and go into a hardware shop where knives and scissors are packed in hard plastic welded cases that are incredibly difficult to open. And apparently this lady, you'll hear say, that he was struggling to actually get the knife out of the wrapper. But he did manage to stab somebody with it. So whether he stabbed it with a sharp bit of the wrapper, or all of a sudden the guy got superhuman strength and managed to get the knife out. But it sounds a very, very hard to believe story.
A donde me voy a mudar, y pudo pasar que pudieron llamar a mi hija, a mi madre, de que yo pude estar muy esperaba que el Señor me diera un paquete de bolsa de basura, En aquel instante entró el señor, entró, tomó un cuchillo. Cuando tomó el cuchillo, venía saliendo. El dueño pensaba que era pararse para pagar, pero en cuanto llegó a la puerta, me empujó, trató de abrir, de quitarle el plástico al cuchillo, pero no pudo. Me empujó y me tiró con el cuchillo, pero el plástico aún no tenía. Fue cuando corrió a su izquierda, a la izquierda, y tiró todo lo que estaba en medio al lado de la puerta, lo tiró y salió corriendo hacia arriba. Pasaron 15 a 20 minutos, para mí fue un infierno. Vivir ese momento para mí fue un infierno, lo recuerdo. Y ver el señor tirado en el suelo, sangrando, desangrándose, botó mucha sangre. La señora la tenían de rodilla, posición vertical, para que no se moviera ni sangrara, para que no botara como sangre la posición. Pero fue un infierno. Para mí fue algo.
So there you go. The police were following him, but they didn't follow him into the shop, and they let him get a knife and come out and stab somebody. I don't follow that personally. It doesn't sound right. But I have mentioned this Sudesh Aman before, but I haven't looked so much at the code in his name. So let's take a look at that. So we've got Sudesh Aman, and he's 37 in Pythagorean numerology for 3 sevens for 777, a popular hex code. And of course we've got Sudesh Aman. He's got the man in his name, and his name in English is 118 for 11 eights for 88, which is a number in itself, a master number, but it also adds up to a 7. And Sudesh in Pythagorean numerology, we're back to that number 22 again. 22 for a 22222 hex. So this one here is mother of Streatham terrorist reveals her disgust at son's attack, claims he was radicalised in Belmarsh. This is 33, of course, as we saw before. And now he asked for his favourite mutton biryani just hours before his knife rampage. And his mother's name is Alima Khan. And Alima Khan is 37 in Chaldean numerology for 777. And mutton is 22 in Pythagorean numerology for our 22 code again. And it seems to be that the family line is a line of sevens, because we have 777 for Aman, and we have 777 for Alima. So a family line of sevens. But he was apparently a lovely boy before he turned into a psychopathic killer with a knife in a plastic wrapping. So here he is, looking incredibly menacing. So he's carrying his JD bag, JD for 14, for 7-7, 2 sevens. And a lot of reports say he looked very menacing and was walking quickly. So let's take a look at how fast he was walking. Here he is, walking very quickly and menacingly. I'm quaking in my boots. Look at him. This is what they've got to offer. This is what scared and caused lockdown and police everywhere. Look, God, this guy would scare you to death if you walked into him. Just take a look at him with his empty JD bag. Oh, God, this is so funny. Okay, so you saw that. Did he look menacing and walking fast? And to seal this hex, we've got the Streatham terror attack. ISIS claims responsibility for the stabbing by supporter Sudesh Aman. Now, as soon as you see ISIS, you kind of know it's about to be a hex, or it was a hex. And ISIS has the 2 S's for 33 in Chaldean numerology. But as soon as you see that, you kind of know what it is. Now, the guy's name was Amman, and in 2005 there was the Amman bombings, and this happened on the 9th of November, can you believe that, for 9/11, and it began at 2050 for 2 and a 5 for a 7. It was suicide bombings, so this guy got his fake suicide vest, and deaths were 60 plus the 3 bombers for 63 for 666, and there were 115 for a 1 + 1 + 5 for a 7 people injured. So here's another hex for you on one slide. So I won't be making a video of that, but I think you can see from that summary, you can tell what it is. So that's the end, guys. I'm not going to do anything else on Streatham, but I thought the 2 videos weren't properly finished off, so I thought I would go out on that one. I was going to say in style, but that's completely up to you to agree with or not. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.